Yeah, hello folks. Good evening again for my subscriber and everybody worldwide and to everyone else listening. Is with my utmost comprehensive situation that I have been in for over 8 years to this day by Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire police, which is a life-threatening situation at the moment due to brutality, vendetta, poisoning, a worst nightmare, a horror, to be honest, what I'm going through. And I cannot put it into words that I have to go through such a treatment by police due to perverting course of justice. Now, the time now is 2 o'clock, nearly 3, and I'm not sleeping yet because of ongoing police poisoning, wanting to access my property while I'm sleeping, monitoring around my house vicinity. But every time that I report to the police, they do nothing about it. So, it's hard. Really, I can't bring myself to explain it to anyone in a way that it would be most comprehensive and description enough to understand what they're really going through. Because sometimes myself, I'm just that much angry that somebody with no criminal record have to go through such a treatment. My life have to be put on hold for 8 years due to police, vendetta, brutality, fallacy, defamation of character, harassment, poisoning, threatening, abuse of power, corruption if you like, just because the fact that they know they have cocked up, they don't want to admit it, and they have turned it into this vendetta of retaliation by any means, including taking my life away, which makes it more wrong. And to everyone listening, if you think I'm here because I hate police, please reframe that from your mind or from any of your thought. I am here fighting for my life, being taken away because of police brutality, dishonesty, abuse of policing integrity, trust to the public, dishonesty, slandering, fallacy, and all that goes with abuse of power. I don't hate police, not even a single one. But that does not mean what I'm going through, I have to fight for it, while my rights, my liberty, my dignity is being treated like rubbish because somebody who have cocked up don't want to admit liability, and they have been doing everything within 8 years to run me down mentally, physically, psychologically, and distressing each and every day and night all over UK For what? And not to mention violation of Human Rights Equality Act and abuse of police power, and police misconduct under Police Reform Act. But hey, I'm not a solicitor. I just want to go through with you 2-3 things, and then as nobody knows what happens tomorrow and all that, and obviously what has been going on within my property is a life-threatening situation, alarming, distressing, being caused by the police of Stoke-on-Trent, for that matter. So I will start with the issue of complaints. Where should I start? Now, these complaints have started 2014. Everything has started in 2014 due to harassment complaint. To this day, I've completed all the process, but I'll give you a few highlights of what have been the pinnacle, or what have been the headlines and the cause of today's perverting Court of Justice attempting matter on my life, and underhanded activity by police through neighbors, sanctuary housing, blackmail, bribery, friends and family, influence, solicitors, anyone in that regard who is to help me gain my life back. That's the only reason. Really, really, really upsetting, draining, exhausting, most of all, life-threatening. So it's nothing to do with hating police. It's to do with the fact that the police have been abusing power, vendetta and brutality for over 8 years, just because they are liable of misconduct, abuse of power, corruption, serious crime. That's the only reason. I don't want it to be long. I'm gonna make it short. So I will start with this. Where should we start? Okay, if you look at that, now before I come to those, I want to come to it started in 2014, but I want to come to this one, 2016. After I've been complaining since 2014 to Stoke-on-Trent local police, we have went to Gloucester to play a weekend football tournament. And Stoke-on-Trent police have followed me from here to Gloucester, and they have fabricated my arrest due to the complaint that I have been making against them in Stoke-on-Trent. So they had this PC officer, PC 199 Mustard 79 on the 3rd of the 7th, 2016. This police officer arrested me, took me to custody, But before he took me to custody, he was told to release me because I was not any under influence as I was driving. He refused the control room 3 times. He didn't listen, whatever they were saying. And as he was told, you are the closest police officer. There is an ambulance in need of police assistance. That gentleman is not any under influence, but due to the fact that he was being influenced by Stoke-on-Trent police of the fabricated arrest, hence the reason he did not listen to 101 control room advice. He took me to custody. He was with another officer, a female officer, bless her, took me to custody. While we were at the custody, they did the drug test and all that. Everything came back clean, nothing. So then I told the custody sergeant that I want to make a complaint, a formal complaint, and be forwarded to Home Office as a super complaint due to a fabricating arrest by this officer and influenced by Stoke-on-Trent, which I believe. But while I was being booked, I was denied a solicitor. And then the lady said, the police officer, the female, she said, bless her, oh, Stoke-on-Trent police are on the radio. And then I said, why would Stoke-on-Trent police be on the radio if I'm being arrested in another county, in Gloucester, for that matter? Unless they have followed me from there to here and have fabricated the whole arrest, which was the fact that they have fabricated the whole arrest for me to be arrested in Gloucester at the time. So we have given more power to the custodial sergeant to release me and put a super complaint to the Home Office, as I have previously, prior to that incident in Gloucester, and being fabricated as well, arrest, to make that complaint to the Home Office. He refused to do that. He booked me in. I slept in the morning as I was driving my friend's car. Then they went to my friend in the morning, as they did not have anything to arrest me on or to keep me in custody. They tried to insinuate on my friend that I have stolen the car, forcing my friend to say that, oh, if you don't say that he stolen your car, because they wanted to justify their arrest, which was unjustifiable. On top of that, it was fabricated at the time. So I spent 9 hours in custody, no solicitor, given Namibian embassy as a next of kin, then which they have been defamated to this day, and bribed or blackmailed, whatever, by Stoke-on-Trent police. Once I came out, we came back to Stoke. I put in another complaint on top of the previous one that I have put in. But boy, these things were not being properly investigated. They were being brushed aside. Yet the destitute treatment, the harassment, the vendetta, it was still continuing. That's where I put all these complaints in, which was this one, 2018. And this one was due to the complaint that I have put in. They have sent this officer to my address from Barnet House in Hanley. Maybe they thought I was illegal in the country. Because of the complaints, that's why they have sent them to my address. That's the other one. And this one was referred to 2018 to Chief Inspector John Owen, who will arrange for you to be conducted in the near future with a discussion of your dissatisfaction. What he did, I think he appointed Sergeant Capstakes to take over the investigation, which she did. She wasn't happy as well. And she found that this was, on top of misconduct, it was driven by discrimination as well. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. So after that, we came to this is just a recap, by the way. So after that, we came to 2018 up to a local resolution. Now, this local resolution was investigated by Sergeant Edward of Longton Police Station. This was a sergeant. 2018, Sergeant 466, Edward, Stoke-on-Trent, there. Sorry about that. I was so Sergeant Edward, 2018. On this, this was being held at Hanley Police Station, where the investigation took place. And did so. But the funny thing about that investigation, local resolution investigation by Sergeant Edward of Longton Police Station, was the whole investigation was premature. The fact that he did not obtain any evidence that I have, which was video, diaries of time and date, number plates, recordings. He refused to do that. But at the time as well, in 2019, I believe was the 2nd of the 3rd at Hanley Police Station, at 6 o'clock in the evening, he left the interview room. He went to talk to other police officer, and he said, "Oh, do you remember this guy, this lady?" Then I said, once he came back, I said, "No, I don't remember. How can I remember somebody passing by in the hallway? That's one of the police officers you are investigating about. We were putting your complaint as a harassment officer." Okay, and then I said, "If you are referring to somebody out of uniform," then I showed him the video of the particular officer, the same in question. Said, "Is this the officer you're talking about?" "Yes." "Oh, that is clear video." That's what he said. And then I asked, "So why did you left the room?" I can't discuss that with you. In fact, the reason he left the room, we went to talk to whoever was in duty sergeant at Hanley Police Station at the time, which is one of the officers contributing to the harassment and ongoing situation to this day. So he left, and then he couldn't tell me, and then he turned around and he said, "Are you gay?" And I said, "Do I look gay to you?" I mean, he was using police tactics now to provoke me and, draw me out of investigation or answering questions and what have you ever. And I said, "No." So then I said, "Okay, let's go down with the local resolution." So we went down with the local resolution. He asked me questions, and I said, "I'm not happy with including all the previous complaint process. So I want everything to be either referred to a commissioner or IOPC, because I believe I have not been getting a proper investigated. My complaint were not being properly investigated, and due to the fact that you as a police officer, you have breached code of conduct by leaving the investigation room, the local resolution interview room, and going to be defamated by sergeant, whom I believe you was being investigated as a sergeant at Hanley Police Station, and the sergeant for the lady that was in question that he asked me about. So therefore, I did not feel, including all the previous complaints, actually, including the one of 2016 as well. So that was the reason that I said, okay, this was not being done appropriately. Nevertheless, that went on. And then I put in a reappeal. I put in a reappeal 2019. That was soon after that, and I will read you a little bit about this reappeal. Now, he said, I am the deputy head of performance standard unit and act as a delegate authority of the chief constable as appropriate authority for appeal. My role is to review your appeal. It is my responsibility to inform you of the outcome. My role is to review, in reaching my decision, I have taken into account a representation that you have made to consideration all the elements of your complaint. I noted that you have received a copy of complaint paperwork. This form is called the disc. That's not important. Now the complaint just want all the police and local authority staff to stop following you and harassing me and all that. Yes, I noticed Sergeant Edward reported back to you with the outcome of the above agreed actions, stating that he has attempted to provide reassure that it was not. In fact, he did not came back to me with that. He just told me on the time of local resolution interview. He did not at all. And in the receipt of your appeal was submitted on the 15th of May 2019. I have tried to pick it out, the silent point. That's a problem. He's not concluded or gone thoroughly through each and every point that I have made, including the fact that there was a non-investigation and unobtaining of evidence within the local resolution investigation by Sergeant Edward. And if you look down in my channels, that police officer came to my door. He is under Sergeant Edward. And that's a vendetta by Sergeant Edward, sending that police officer to my door for intimidation and harassment, because they were not at all warranted to come to my address due to the fact that a neighbor have reported a domestic issue, which was the council issue, not the police issue. But the fact that due to this investigation and complaint process, that was the reason of those two police officers coming to my house to intimidate and harass me even more, due to the vendetta of these complaints. That's the reason they came to my house. And the previous arrest as well that he said he arrested me, that was due to his sergeant. And the same police officer follow me locally whenever I go to the shop or wherever. So these things are continuing. And this one go on to say, a resolution belief that have been serious enough. I believe harassing is still continuing. Yes, it was still continuing, and this went on and on and on and on. And they said, in relation to point of local resolution, paragraph 2, Chandel to Police Reform Act 2020, appropriate authority shall determine whether the suitable local authority shall make arrangement for this to take place. A complaint must meet both following conditions suitable to local resolution. Appropriate local authority is satisfied authority that the conduct is being complained about, even if it weren't proven, is not satisfied by criminal or disciplinary proceedings against the person who conduct is complained about. That's just crap, basically. And I don't want to go into that because the video is going to be long, but that is just crap. And then he went to express himself as well and said, the appropriate authority is satisfied that the conduct complained about, even if it were not proven, would not involve the infringement of a person's right under Article 2 or 3 of European Convention of Human Rights. How can he say that? That's the whole process of complaint, to make sure that none of those conventions of human rights have been infringement or violated. But as a deputy head of performance standard, to say that, that's just a disgrace. How can he say that? What he should have said is that we were to make sure that in the Convention of Human Rights or European, what he should have said, in fact, that in Article 2 or 3 of European Convention of Human Rights, we are to make sure they are not violated or infringed by in any way. But the fact that to this day are being infringed by phone monitoring, you are an internet redirect, having undercover police behind my house, police officer following me all over UK, defamation, litigation, ongoing vendetta, attempting murder, pevert, conspiracy to pervert course of justice, poisoning by neighbors, going to my doctor insinuating that I'm a mental health, to pervert course of justice, in breach of doctor and patient privilege. What is he saying? That does not make sense at all. So I'm sorry, Constable, Chief Deputy, Head of Performance and Standard Unit, Staffordshire. That's just not right by any standard. And the fact that this issue are continuing to this day is another proven evidence that the whole thing was not investigated properly. But anyway, he went to express himself as to say, in relation to second appeal, I advise that a merely coincident that while you are out and about, you encounter police and other public authority. I am reassured that the police of Stoke-on-Trent is visible present. We seek to raise public confidence in policing. We seek to abuse integrity of policing by continuing following me due to the vendetta that I have complained against them, not the presence. No. And I'm not stupid to know that this police officer is within presence of reassuring public trust or is harassing me. I can differentiate that. Previously being harassed by police. So for him to say that, and to this day facing the same thing, which is leading to a life-threatening situation, and attempting murder to pervert course of justice and cover all this up, that's just wrong. Totally wrong. How can he say that? But nevertheless, I apologize that you feel that visible presence make you feel targeted and harassed. This is attention I have stated, and blah, 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 blah. Nevertheless, Now, and then we went to this one. Finally, the IPCC are now referred to as an IOPC in the Independence Office of Police Conduct. 2018 this was. When they changed from IPCC, this is a letter. Whether that's the truth or not, I don't know. Because sometimes when you phone 101, they tell you complain to IPCC. My URL, it changed from IOPC to IPCC. Now what I believe the reason to do with that is this. The reason that is being done is because the seriousness of the complaint process is 2018, which IOPC are involved in since 2018. To this day, they have not acted accordingly to investigate the seriousness and attempted murder against my life by Staffordshire Police. Although I have been keeping in contact with them on numerous occasions, they have not reassured me of my safety and protection due to a seriousness of an ongoing vendetta, brutality, harassment, torture, horror. And all I get from them is excuses. And if you listen to my channel as well, there is another lady there that I'm talking to. That lady, Laura is her name, I believe. That lady is IOPC lady. And she even mentioned last year that I've complained to the commissioner, which they have automatically have to get involved, which they are involved. See, and she even mentioned since 2018. But they are not involved to investigate. What are they waiting for the police to kill me and then get involved to investigate? Is that what they are waiting for? While I don't sleep each and every night, I'm being followed all over the country with no criminal record. That is wrong. Totally wrong. And this is the problem with police independence investigatory parties. This is the reason these things have gone on for 8 years to become an attempted murder to this day. This is the reason I'm sitting here 3 o'clock at night in threat of my life by the police. This is the reason my lockdown has started in 2018 through to Reaper, running me down physically, mentally, emotionally, blackmailing friends and family, torture. With no criminal record at all. So if you think I'm here to complain about police or I hate police, no. There are a lot of complaints. Yes, I know some of them take peace, some of them, they are not worth of complaints and all that. But this is a serious matter and not to be taken lightly at all. But so far I've been driven to violence, to act in a violent way after 8 years of going through the same horror with no any intervention from any commissioner, which I have written to 3 times. 2 times on a personal email. Joe Gideon of Stoke-on-Trent MP. But he seems to be brushing everything aside. While I don't sleep each and every night having police officers. 101 calls are not referring my calls to appropriate department to be properly investigated. Having previously done all this complaint. 99 calls are dropping my calls while I'm being threatened during the night. Police officer wanting to come into my house to poison and overdose me while I'm sleeping. Using numbers. So it's 35 minutes I think that I will end there and I'll carry on with another one, please, if you listen to it on my channel. And then I'll add another few things on top of this and let you listen to a few recordings as well from 101. Thank you very much.